This is the Myla Sweet Podcast, where you'll learn to get unstuck. Start now. Conquer life's challenges by learning to do difficult. Find quick and clever ways to overcome. Wait, did you think life was going to be easy? Remember, all of your excuses are now dead to me. Let's get started. Guess what time it is? It's time for you to hit the subscribe button and find just 1% that you think will benefit from this. But if you're feeling a little generous, right? Or you're super free with your time right now, probably doing nothing because you're listening to this. Well, maybe if you're doing something, actually just make yourself free right now. Hit subscribe. What are you waiting for? Hit it. Come on. Hit subscribe.
Oh my goodness, MaryAnne, I love you. I will just tell you that. I'm like, why haven't I met you sooner? Dear Christy Wright, why did you just start your business boutique thing a couple years ago? I needed to have met you sooner. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm like, you are seriously, everything you're saying, I'm like, you exist. Why haven't I found you? I'm not even joking. The hardest part for me about social media in general, so I hadn't been on social media for 8 years, is that I think I was in a time in my life where I was trying to figure out who I was and what was valuable to me and what was valuable as a parent, as a Christian, as a spouse, whatever. It's just all these different roles, right? And you're in a different place maybe than your friends, and you're trying to just segment that, and just be okay with that, but be cool with them. It's just this weird little funky place. So it was super easy to disconnect. And then I never in my wildest dreams felt like there are other people that are just like that. You can get, I want to remind people as they're going through this pandemic or COVID, it's just that we can get so segmented in our own brains, in our own perspective, that we forget that there are other people that are just like that, just with those exact thoughts, feeling the exact same way. And that is super important, although it's super cheesy, and I hate saying together alone at home, but we're together. It's weird to say that. I'm not super supportive of that. I'm just keeping it honest. I like together. That's just my motto, motto. But I just think it's super important to really reach out to find people that value the same things, that are just like that, and just getting a peek into your business and your brain. It's breathtaking for me. I'm like, wow, that's exactly what I would do. I think I laugh so much that I'm like, I don't know if I'm an adult,
Well, appreciate it. I mean, it's just who we are. We're just real and we're honest. And we are people who are we're stumbling through life ourselves, but we're having fun along the journey. And, with as far as parenting goes, this stuff is tough. It just really is, but you only get one shot at it. And going back to what you said about, disconnecting and stuff and trying to really find yourself, it's important, but it's also important not to think that you are all alone. And there are people who want to get it right, and do right and to raise kids. And I will, talking about raising our kids, we went to Monterey Bay Aquarium a couple years ago. We took our kids, and we was there, and I'm not kidding you, when it was so crowded and people were so rude. And I was really trying to teach our kids manners and, just being polite and being courteous and different things like that, being respectful. It was so bad that our kids were begging to leave. They were like, Mom, can we just be done? And this is not going to just kids. There was adults that are taller than all of our little kids standing in front of them and not letting them see the displays. We, the adults, are standing back just trying to get the kids where they could see, the fish or whatever. So we left that day, we, through the afternoon and stuff, and we had it was a semi-fun time, but we went to go to a restaurant, and on the door of the restaurant, it had a sign. It was in the window, and it said, misbehaving children will be asked to leave. And as soon as we walked in with our 5 kids, they let me know right away. They did not have kids menus. And they said, did you read the sign on our window? I said, yes, ma'am, I did. And they said, so you're okay with that? I said, absolutely. And there's nothing I love better than a good challenge. So I looked at the kids and I said, listen, I go, you remember how we've been talking about manners and stuff? And they were like, yeah. I go, I need you to pull those out of your pocket and you're going to use them right now. And now in general, we are country bumpkins, but we teach them, there's a time and a place that you've got to have these manners. And they don't always pass the test, but at this point in time, I said, okay, I need you to rise to the challenge. So we went in, we sit down, we ate. And there was a group of 3 couples. They were elderly. They were 50 and 60-year-old. She come over, and one of them was in a wheelchair. And they came over when they finished eating, and they walked over to our table. And she said, ma'am, she said, your children are the most well-behaved children I've ever seen in my life. And I said, well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And she said, we were at Monterey Bay Aquarium today, and it was insane. And I told her, I said, ma'am, we were there ourselves. And I go, I had my kids begging to leave. And they were pushing around a wheelchair, and people wouldn't get out of their way. They wouldn't move over. It was just, she goes, it was awful. And my husband and I were talking later, and I said, you know what's really sad is I go, it's really hard to raise respectful kids in a disrespectful world. Adults want to look down and say kids are not polite, but they're not leading the way and showing them how to be polite. Adults want to say, oh, the kids are on the phone all the time. But if you look around in society, a lot of adults are too. We have to model what we want our kids to be. So we can't expect our kids to be any more than we are ourselves. And it's my desire, and it's my husband's desire. We want our kids to go beyond. We don't want them just to come up to our level and stop. We want them to go beyond. So we want to give them the tools and the resources that we know, but we want to launch them forward, not just to keep them back or say you can never, that dreams don't happen or you can never go further. We want to launch them. And most of all, we are Christians. We believe the Bible, and we want to launch our kids that they will make an impact in this world for Christ, most of all, and be a testimony and example everywhere they go.
Oh my goodness, MaryAnne. If I could, I would just give you a little hug. Well, I love this. So wait a minute. I feel like we're going to be great friends in the future. Oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, I'm literally thinking, okay, peppermint mocha soap. I'm listening to all the different soaps. And I'm thinking, because my kids just got into, they love what they call a spa bath. There's this menu that you can select when you take a bath in our house. And they create these different bubbles or essential oils. And they have a bath, what is it? A brush. And you can come out and you can get a pedicure. It's just this real, elaborate thing. Yeah. So they just got into different bath soaps. The menu, yeah, you select what kind of bath you like before you go in there. So and they like getting it ready. So that's their thing. I'm not really into that, but through a year and a half of that, I've really started to say, well, I kind of want bath salts, and I want a soap, they make a little sugar scrub that they like to make. Yeah, so it actually, I'm very much so wound up. I'm like a little, dog that as soon as you wake up, I'm like, come on, what are we gonna do? So relaxing is really challenging for me. I relax by doing things. But they're like, Mom, you need to take a bath. You need to relax. It's really good. Listen to a podcast, read a book or whatever. And it's been super helpful. I'm still, like I said, they have to really chastise me to do it, but it is enjoyable. I'm not going to sit here and lie, Sometimes they'll make a tea or something, and I'm like, oh, this is nice.
All right, that's another episode in the books. Hello? I said it's over. Why are you still listening? Seriously, the episode is over. If you're still listening right now, you know what? You're probably a chronic procrastinator. Guess what? I'm still listening to. Come on, for real, seriously. We gotta go do something productive. No, for real. No, for real. Okay, you can keep listening.